Yo, welcome to Urban Gameplay Gaming Countdown. It's Mad Pepper, counting down the hottest games.
Yo, what's good, peeps? It's that time for that video where we reflect over the previous month's hottest video games released. And going back to normal in this video, I'm going to take a look at the top 5 games released of April 2016. There was quite a few titles to deliberate with some being AAA and other being indie games. Not all of them share the same amount of quality, but the 5 that I'm going to talk about in this list, I can assure you are easily the best games that I played and was released in the month of April, all of which exuberate some form of quality. So without further ado, let's get straight into it and look at my game of the month for April 2016.
Number 5.
Yo, Quantum Break on the outside may not seem like much, as it might simply look like your typical third-person shooter, a genre that some may argue tends to lack innovation to some extent. When it comes to this game, however, you'll realize that the gameplay isn't all that the game focuses on. Nah, I personally feel that the story is more the selling point of behind Quantum Break. The game is one of the first to blend real episodes along with gameplay and cutscenes to integrate the player into an intriguing game world and mind-bending story. Throughout the game, you'll be given an opportunity to choose between which course of events you would like to follow, to a lesser extent kind of changing the course of the game throughout. Combine that with the gameplay that kind of pulls the Mass Effects and add a new interesting way of details to competence via the abilities, which make things a little bit more interesting. I wouldn't go as far to compare this game to Mass Effect, but you can see where some of the inspiration behind the game mechanics come from. These abilities can do a number of things and really help the game away from the kind of mediocrity of the other third-person shooters out there. On some realness, this game's been getting quite a bit of negative criticism across the board regarding the graphics, the game length, and even the game mechanics, and to be fair, I kind of agree that I wasn't over impressed with the title than I was prior to its release. I will say that obviously if you're an Xbox One owner, it might still be worth looking into if you can find it for a decent price, because it's still a decent IP and something new to bring to the table.
Number 4.
Yo, Enter the Gungeon is a game that I nearly missed out playing in April 2016 and was really delighted that I had the opportunity to get a go with this game. Enter the Gungeon is a top-down roguelike shooter created by an indie team that have designed a game that's absolutely oozes charisma and personality. If you can gather by the name, guns are the main focus for majority of the game design. Your enemies are bullets that shoot at you with guns. The bosses have gun puns for names like Gatling Gun. Everything you come across is related to guns, is named after guns, or something equally gun-like. While Enter the Gungeon doesn't really have a story, what it does have is a fully released game world matched with great gameplay that you can simply play for hours upon hours and yet still find more to do in the game. There's a number of hidden little secrets for the players to find, a vast list of items and weapons to enjoy, leading to a newer and interesting run each and every time when you play the game. In addition to all these great accolades about Enter the Gungeon, the aesthetics for the game only helps to cement this game on the list and definitely being one of the best titles released throughout April 2016, and a game that I would kind of recommend more people to even jump on board and give it a go.
Number 3.
Now, as I want to drop an in-depth review about this game in the week, I'm going to keep this overview simply brief. Just like the previous title, Star Fox Zero is a family-friendly fly action game where you get to pilot your own ship and take down any potential threats that come flying towards your ship. The new title reinvents the Star Fox series and helps push out the story to a new, exciting heights that haven't quite been covered until now. One of the most anticipated titles for Nintendo fans definitely deserves to be on this list, and that's not only because it continues on the legacy, but because the fun gameplay that you would expect from a Star Fox game is still intact here. Has the game met my personal expectations and was it well worth the wait? Well, I'll definitely let you all know within the week when I drop the review, so make sure you keep it locked to the channel. But one thing for sure, as it's in my top 5, it can't be that bad.
Number 2.
Yo, Dark Souls has always been a series that even a sheer mention of its name can cause players to shudder in fear, terror, and overall horror. From my opinion, despite how difficult the franchise is, players kind of have found the difficult nature of the game. While it may be incredibly frustrating at times, you can't dispute just how incredibly satisfying it is once you've learned how to handle a boss within the game. It should come as no surprise that the third sequel of the franchise, players certainly get enough of the tough, no-holds-barred action RPG. The dark brooding locale of Dark Souls 3 only reminds gamers on why the dark fantasy action RPG was an anticipated sequel to the other two entries in the series. For this reason, along with numerous numerous improvements that have been implemented in the series, not to mention the fact that Dark Souls 3 has been on many gamers' most anticipated list of 2016. When you take all that into account, along with the fact that it's suspected that this will be the final of the trilogy, Dark Souls 3 definitely deserves a spot on this list.
Number 1.
Yo, I had no question in my mind behind the number 1 spot after playing Ratchet & Clank Remastered, because this game is definitely epic. For many players around the world, Ratchet & Clank was a series that oozed fun, flavour, quality and content, all taking place in a colourful, lively galaxy filled to the brim with a number of planets to explore. Take that into account along with the humorous approach the game brings in terms of its overall story and characters, you've got a game that by no surprise a fan favourite amongst the players. Unfortunately, the original Ratchet & Clank was released many years ago and is somewhat dated when compared to today's standards. Thankfully, however, the developers Insomniac Games decided to remaster the game on the PlayStation 4 for the players. This new re-imaging of a classic PlayStation 2 title has even more fresh and vibrant colours everywhere you look, has tighter controls, and has even been developed on a much newer and HD graphics engine, and it really does show throughout the game. The remastering is a complete redo, and if you compare it to the previous, at least in terms of the graphics, you'll be saying, damn, you never know a game could look so sweet. On some realness, with many remastering these days, you can kind of detect just how little effort goes into some of them, but when you look at Ratchet & Clank on the PlayStation 4, you'll definitely not see a single area of the game that has been left out. From my personal perspective, this is quite possibly one of the greatest remastering I've seen a game developer pull off for quite some time, with this being the exact reason why I placed this game at number 1. Not only that though, but you have to obviously admit that the franchise as a whole has always been great with quality, so I shouldn't come as much as a surprise for this game being so high up on the list. Anyway peeps, just like Star Fox Zero, I'm also preparing a Ratchet & Clank remaster review, so I definitely aim to drop that during this week at some point as I get over this flu. I hope you all enjoyed the Game of the Month countdown this month. Do let me know in the comments below any games that you feel that I've left out that got released in April 2016 that definitely deserve a place in the top 5. And also let me know your thoughts on some of the titles that are actually in this list, whether they should be higher, lower. Do you agree with number 1 or so? Do hit the like button if you enjoyed the content. Also subscribe to the channel if you've not done so before. And until next urban gameplay video, we definitely say peace out, peeps.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for more cool urban gameplay videos.